Hey guys, Amy Welch, Independent Sapphire Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and this is the first in my Tough Love series. It dawned on me that many of you want to be a Plexus Jewel. That is your goal. You want to be emerald, sapphire, diamond. But a lot of times we don't tell you exactly what it takes to do that. So this series is only for those people that want to be a jewel. Okay, so I'm warning you, do not watch this if you do not want to be a jewel, because it's going to be not sugar-coated. I'm going to tell you what it takes. I'm going to be tough with you and cut the excuses. Okay, so this is your warning. Not everybody who works Plexus as a business wants to be a jewel, and that's totally fine. You don't have to be a jewel. You can just share enough to get your products paid for. You can just share enough to afford, tuition or daycare or whatever it is. This is only for those people who want to be a jewel. And because emerald is kind of the first step, I'll be referencing that a lot, right? So what it takes to get emerald. If you have what it takes to get emerald, then you will have what it takes to go sapphire and diamond, okay? So this is your warning. Stop the video now if you don't want this. It's going to be a 3-part series. This is just kind of the beginning. The other 2 are going to be a little bit more specific. So here we go. If you want to be a Plexus Jewel, you need to stop with the excuses, all right? You need to quitting your Plexus business, right? You've heard us all say it. You have to believe you can be a jewel, and then you have to work your business every day. But what the heck does that mean? What does that look like? I'm going to share with you what it looked like for me, what it looks like for so many of us. But to be a jewel, there are just some non-negotiables. A lot of people think that you can work this business in the nooks and crannies. That's actually true. However, 90% of us, you have to create the nooks and crannies. If you're working your Plexus business only when you feel like it, you are not going to be a jewel. Trust me. I hit emerald in 8 months because I set my mind to it. I decided it was going to happen in October, and I busted my butt to make it happen. Were there times I didn't want to work my Plexus business? Absolutely. Were there days I would much rather be out there by the pool getting some sun? Yes. Were there evenings when I didn't want to go to an opportunity event, or times I didn't want to host an online party for someone on my team? Sure. But I did it anyway, guys, because you want to be a jewel. When you want to be a jewel, you need to cut the crap, okay? You need to cut the excuses. There are just some non-negotiables and some time management things that you have to learn. Now, again, I told you I'm going to be brutal. I'm going to be honest. Now, I'm not saying your whole life has to be consumed by Plexus. That's not why we're doing this, okay? Just as you have to manage your time with Plexus, you have to manage your personal time and your family time. Just as there's non-negotiables with Plexus that you have to do, there should be some non-negotiables with your family and your own time that you have to do too, okay? I just hear it so often. People tell me they want to be an emerald, but then they can't be on the team calls. Guys, those don't line up. Sorry. They tell me I want to be a jewel, but I can't go to convention. I want to be a jewel, but I don't go to Super Saturday. I want to be a jewel, but I don't go to opportunity events. Guys, those do not add up, okay? I want to be a jewel, but I don't post every day. I want to be a jewel, but I don't follow up. Okay, see where I'm going with this? If you want to be a jewel, you have to act like a jewel. You have to think like a jewel. You have to work your Plexus business no matter what, okay? I get it that life is busy. I am not saying, with this video, I am not saying that life isn't busy and stressful and hectic and things happen, right? But do you think you're the only one that happens to? No. There are Plexus jewels that have, 3 times as many kids as I do. There are emeralds and jewels that have 7, 9, 11 kids. They homeschool. There are people that ranked emerald after their spouses passed away. There are people that ranked emerald after they lost children. All right? So I'm not saying that your life isn't busy and stressful. But if you want to be a jewel, you're going to do it anyway. despite all of those things. You're going to turn your excuses into the reasons why you're doing it. Okay? So instead of saying, I can't be on a team call because my kid has a baseball game, you know what the Jewel says? I'm going to listen to it in my earbuds while I'm watching my kid play. Okay? You know what the Jewel says when they say, I'm going on vacation? They don't say, I'm not going to post, I'm going to take time off. They say, I'm going to post every day while I'm on vacation to show people how important this pink drink is and how easy it is. Okay? When life happens and it gets you down and you're super stressed and you feel like maybe the world is crashing, a Plexus Jewel knows to pour into her Plexus family and to let them pull her up and pull her out, or him. The person that makes excuses uses that excuse as a time to not work their business, and it sets them back. Okay? So please don't think I am being mean and saying that life doesn't happen. It does. But to be a jewel, we rise above it, and we do it anyway, and we do it despite. Okay? So what do you have to do? You have to work your business. You can't take any time off. Now, does that mean you're working your Plexus business 8 hours a day every single day? No way. Like, no one would do that. We'd all get burnout, okay? When I was pushing for silver, gold, senior gold, ruby, senior ruby, I didn't have 8 hours a day. I had a full-time job. I had a 1-hour commute on each end, had a baby at home that was a nursing baby, so it's not like I could come home and just pass her off to somebody, right? But guess what, guys? I wanted this more than anything. I knew that being a jewel would get me out of my job. I knew that being a jewel would provide freedom to my family. I knew that being a jewel would prove to all of my skeptics and haters that I could do it and that they were wrong. Whatever your why is, whatever your drive is, that's what you have to figure out. That's what you have to cling to. Okay? When you get so exhausted and so busy, when you have people quit Plexus, when you have people make fun of you, when you lose a new customer or whatever it is, if you have that strong why and that strong belief, you will rise above it. Okay? I worked my butt off, but I worked it for 30 minutes. Here's what I did. When people tell me they're too busy with work or they can't be on Facebook during work time so they can't do their Plexus business, I'm like, yeah, so what else is new? Most of us couldn't be on Facebook when we were at work, okay? I would stay up late every single night. After that baby and my husband went to bed, as tired and exhausted as I was, almost every night I stayed up for 30 minutes. You know what I did? I followed up with people. I sent messages to people about Plexus. People that I'd sent messages to and they didn't reply. I messaged them back. I added new people to 3-way chats with my friend in my upline. Okay? On Saturdays, I would get up an hour before the family and go to Starbucks. I'd throw a hat on. I wouldn't even do my hair. I would go to Starbucks with my laptop, and for 1 hour, I would do an intense power hour of messaging people and sharing with people. I planned my posts out for the week, okay? I did not get to silver, gold, senior gold, ruby by working my Plexus business during the day, during my full-time job. You can't, right? If you can, that's fine, but I didn't have a job where I could. Now, on some days, I certainly was able to work Plexus on my lunch hour. I can even remember a couple of times bringing my personal laptop to the office, and then I would go across the street to this Mexican restaurant for an hour on lunch and do my follow-ups then, okay? So I don't want to hear that you cannot work Plexus while you're at work. Most of us couldn't, okay? Every excuse you give me, I'm going to give you an example of a jewel that did it despite of those excuses, okay? I travel a lot. It's too hard for me because I travel. Well, that's an excuse, okay? In fact, people who tell me they don't have time, those are the ones who need Plexus the most. If your schedule is so busy that you cannot post on Facebook once a day, every single day, honey, you need Plexus. You need that time freedom, okay? You also have to show up to events. You have to live and breathe Plexus. There are just some non-negotiables to be a jewel. You have to show up to events. So if you've been working this business and you're telling me you want to be an emerald because that would mean the world to your family or whatever your reason is, but you haven't gone to Super Saturday and you don't go to the corporate opportunity event, both of those happen once a year. okay? If you don't go, then you're not as serious about this as you want to think you are. You have to go to those events. Those who show up, go up. It's true. And this isn't just about Plexus. If you look at anything, they will tell you that if you are involved and engaged and you show up year after year, time after time, you are going to be the one that's still around. You're going to be the one that eventually is up on that stage with all the emeralds, okay? So stop the excuses. The person who says, I can't go to this event because my kid has practice, it's one time a year they find somebody to pick their kid up from practice, okay? The person who says, I can't go because I don't have a babysitter, they lug all 5 of their kids to the opportunity event, okay? They give them snacks and some coloring books and put them in the back of the room, okay? So everything that is an excuse, somebody else has done it anyway, okay? I never missed a Houston Opportunity event when I started. We had them once a month. They were over at the barbecue place. They were during the week. There were times when I didn't get home from work, usually until 6:37. But guess what? When I knew that meeting was coming, we made it work. I'd either work through my lunch and leave early. I'd see if Steve could pick the kiddo up from daycare. Sometimes I would just bring the kid with me, and then Steve would come, and we'd have dinner at the meeting. It was a non-negotiable, guys. You have to do it. Just like taking your products. You are a Plexus ambassador. There are some non-negotiables. You have to be healthy. You can't be selling health products if you're not healthy and not taking your products, okay? You have to post every day. You have to be on social media. You have to talk to people about Plexus. You have to message people. You have to be okay with talking to people about Plexus and being confident about it. You have to follow up with people. You have to follow up with people 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 times. Okay? So, there are just some non-negotiables in Plexus. So think about it. Have you told yourself that you're too busy this week, or you went on vacation, or, you just don't have the time because work is too busy? Are there days when you have not worked your Plexus business for 3, 4, 5 days in a row? Have you gone 3, 4, and 5 days without messaging anybody? How about 3, 4, and 5 days without talking to your team? Okay? There are just some things that you have to do. So if that's you, if you've been making excuses, the good news is you can change today. You can stop the excuses. You can stop feeling sorry for yourself, right? It's what the Barefoot executive Carrie Wilkerson says. Stop it. You have beliefs about yourself and about other people and about this business. If you think for a second that somebody else is a jewel because they had more time, they had more freedom, they had more money, they had a babysitter, they worked from home, they didn't work 3 jobs, they didn't have 2 kids, right? Stop it. Okay? When you look up on that stage at Emeralds, they are all different from all walks of life. Men, women, singles, married, divorced, widows, 1 kid, 2 kids, 11 kids, homeschool, public school, private school. No internet, okay? No internet. Small town, no friends, not on Facebook, okay? There are people in this company that did not have a Facebook page when they started. There are people who are jewels that had no internet. You know what they do? They didn't let that stop them. They didn't say, oh, I'm sorry, I couldn't be on the team call because I don't have internet. They drove to Starbucks or Whataburger or wherever they have free Wi-Fi, and they sat in the parking lot and they listened to the call. Guys, there's non-negotiables. You have to decide what those non-negotiables are for you, okay? For me, it was those evenings when I would work after the kiddo and the husband would go to bed. It was skipping bath time once a week so I could be on a team call. It was getting up on Saturday when I'd much rather sleep in and cuddle with my baby, but I went and worked my business, okay? So this is the Tough Love series. I hope you stay tuned. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. But there's just some things, if you want to be a jewel in this company, you have to do. It would be like your day job. For those of you who work full-time or have ever had a job, if you want to be successful and get the raises and the promotions, right? Can you only work it when you feel like it? Can you only show up to work when you feel like it? Heck no. Your Plexus business is no different. You have to show up to go up. That means in everything, okay? Now, the next two in the series, I'm going to talk a lot more about things you have to do for posting, messaging people, how to talk to people, how to close with people, how to get people on your team. And then the other series is going to be like how to onboard people on your team, right? How to talk to people, expectations, how to get people to silver, how to keep people on the products. There's just some things to be a jewel you have to do. So, thank you for joining me in this first one. I hope you like the next two.